Hello people, today I have with us something different. This is a review of the Juggernaut, but not as much a review of the Juggernaut from the number 86. What is it? I guess it's just 86. But the 86 series of high-grade model kits. But it's also a review of my custom version of it. So I'm not going to go into a lot of the details about what is in this kit because I didn't build them. Honestly, most of this kit is still on their sprues in the box here. So I didn't finish it per se, but I did make a custom version of it. So we did a contest on the Gunpla Hermit server some time ago, and I don't even remember. It was a long while ago. And the idea was just a custom Juggernaut from the series. You could do the long range one, the standard one, or the Shin-Use. This one is the general purpose one, so it's just the regular guy. I didn't add on the side weapons here. I just left those open, and I wanted to make as my custom version like a biotech version of the Juggernaut, because it is a very insect-like look right out of the box, very ant-like. I like the gun, so I kept that one on here. I was thinking of making something else, like say a flamethrower or, you know, an alternate weapon, but I started running out of time. Kind of a procrastinator in that way. But as you see, we have a tentacle coming out of here, tentacle coming out of here. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with those, but say they can manipulate weapons or something like that. There's claws instead of the normal feet. And if you look on the back ones, they have 3 toes on each of their toes, on their feet as well. The gun is nearly completely unchanged, still fastens the same way. If you were to remove these panels here on the side, you'd see there's more of that biotech look. There's musculature sculpted beneath there. Let me open this up. Let's see if I can. Okay, here we go. As you see here on the cockpit, there's more of that biotech looking flesh, very obviously sculpted. I changed that out instead of the periscope that was in there. You can see the pilot sitting in there with one of those nasty meaty tentacles covering her face. She is painted in there. Part of that was because I don't do faces very well. Part of that was because I wanted it to be like maybe a scope or something like that put into her face so she can interface with this big machine. You can see more fleshy bits there. You see there's also hair, that's static grass that I covered some up with the orange to make it look somewhat like an insect, but I wanted to maintain some of the green in there too because it looks like that toxic kind of effect. It was a lot of fun to put together. I dropped this just now trying to open that one, so I took the gun off and I broke the tentacle off the side of this one. I will add that back later. This is a favorite of mine. Personally, I liked doing the whole concept of the biotech bug. Actually, if you look at underneath all the fur, there's some sculpted muscle in flesh tones in there. The paint probably just overrode that with the fur. But still, it was an idea. It was a concept, and I think I pulled it off all right. I did not win the contest, but I got pretty close. I think I was second in that one. But Plamori, event guy on our Discord server, definitely hit it out of the ballpark with his. That one was much better. So I will concede with respect to that one because it did outshine mine in many ways. This one was hand painted. I did not have an airbrush at the time. It probably would have done a lot better with the airbrushing because the texture on the paintbrush that I used is apparent in some areas, but I think I did a pretty good job in the paint. I should have just painted more and various colors, more detail. There's no weathering on this one. Everything you see is just as I did it. Let me put this gun back on, which is a simple task of plugging this piston into that shock, and oop, don't do that, but do this instead. There you go. So that's back on there. And like I said, it was just a conceptual thing for me. I just wanted the idea of biotech to come alive on this one, and I think it did a decent enough job. It was a lot of fun to do. One of the early contests that I got into with the Gumpler Hermit Discords, I think I did 2 before that. I've won one of them, the one with the frogs. But that one, I think that one I shouldn't count as a win because I only had one opponent on that one, Drew Harner. And I mean, as much as I liked his diorama, I think it would have been a nicer win to have if there were more opponents. So I think a win versus one other person isn't really a win. But still, this is one of the cooler kits from that that set. I think the Juggernaut, which is a very strange looking vehicle in and of itself, as you see here, very biological looking as it is. I just wanted to emphasize that to me it looked very insectoid, and I liked it a lot, so I wanted to give it that biotech look. I think it looks good. Personally, I like it a lot, but you know, it's always up to the judges whose is better, and which, you know, I think the winner was just frankly better than mine. That said, this is a really cool kit. It was a lot of fun to paint, a lot of fun to customize. There's not a lot of pieces on here. The sculpture part of it, you can see I could have done better, but I think it did pretty good in incorporating this into the pieces that were already here. Would have liked to add more weaponry to it, but that big gun I think is a fun one. The claws, I think that'd be a good touch if it can hold itself up on the tentacles and use them as pinchers versus like personnel or things like that, and then use that long rifle versus other vehicles. It makes sense to me. That's gonna be it though. I know this isn't a long video, but I wanted to show you guys what I did and how it looks compared to the original, which is, you know, this image right here. I don't have the actual vehicle itself done up because I only bought one of these. I wanted to get the long range one, and I never was able to find it in store, so didn't manage to pick that one up. But that one would have been this one with an even longer gun, and then there's also the Shin-Use, which is the smaller gun. So you have a couple variations, but this one is the general purpose and obviously modified to my spec. I really like doing this one though, and if I have a chance to do another insect-like thing, I'm gonna take it, because that hexagear, the sneak sight, I think it is. No, sneak sight is the dogs. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a wasp, and I definitely want to make that one a little bit more biological in nature. So maybe some more fleshy tentacles and stuff like that, and get that going. But I hope you guys like this one. I'm not going to show you the articulation on this one. This one's a bit floppy because it's been in a storage container, which it got pretty hot in there, and he's not exactly up to the best of his abilities. So it's not really a good review on the kit itself, except for, you know, you do get my high marks on it. I really like the way it was built, and like I said, not too many pieces. Still, it's a feature-filled little thing. With the secondary weapons, you have a lot of fun with that. At the same time, it was pretty expensive when it first came out. I think it was like $35. It's big, you know, it's big enough versus like an HG. So you get like an HG Gundam. You can see here that it is a pretty decent size. little creature, and it is in 1/48 scale, which is a common military scale, so it'd be fun to put those with your military vehicles, or with, if you have them, your mega size Gundams. It would be in scale with that as well. As far as painting, it was a dream. You know, I hand paint a lot, so that's generally something that's not seen as completely easy. I took my time, painted it up, many thin layers of this color shift paint. You can see that it is a purple to blue. It works really well on here. Perhaps the lighting is keeping it in the bluer side of things, but if I were to darken it like so, you can see that it does turn purple. It is a very pretty paint, and it came out really well on this this kit. I also used a light pink undercoat. So there's a pink, and then, well, it was white base layer, and then pink on top of that, straight onto the plastic, and then the purple on top of that. So it came out pretty good for just I think it was 6 coats on top. But you know, when you hand paint things, you have to do it really thin, so it's not to show the brush strokes. So with only 6 layers, I think it came out pretty good. There are some very visible rivets. I made sure to get those shiny on there. You got some shine on the silver on some of them bits. It was a lot of fun to do. I will stop talking now because I realize I've been talking for about 10 minutes, and this was supposed to be a short video. So I will say thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me, but more than likely you'll see my stuff. Bye-bye.